Alright, America has always had major military power, winning many wars with the branches of our military, including Navy, Army, Air Force, and Marines. We needed all of them when it came to the world's largest war, World War II. World War II, going from 1939 to 1945, was the largest armed conflict in human history, ranging over 6 continents, all of the world's oceans. The war caused an estimated 50 million military and civilian deaths, including those of 6 million Jews. Being that it was a world war, there were many countries involved, so the entirety of it pitted Germany, Japan, Italy, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, the Axis powers against the Allied powers, U.S., Britain, France, USSR, Australia, Belgium, Brazil, Canada, China, Denmark, Greece, Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Poland, South Africa, Yugoslavia. Later, the Soviet Union broke away from the Allied powers to be its own power. The U.S. at the time of the war, in 1939, maintained formal neutrality under the provisions of the quarantine speech made by Franklin D. Roosevelt. This speech basically said that we will keep an eye on the nations that are aggressors, i.e. Germany, Italy, and Japan. 2 years later, in 1941, America broke neutrality and declared war on Japan due to the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. December 7th of 1941 was when American naval base was attacked by Axis power Japan. The attack by Pearl Harbor was intended to neutralize the U.S. Pacific Fleet, which then would help Japan advance into the Dutch East Indies. Japan wanted these parts of the world for their natural resources, such as oil and rubber.
Oh, can we ask questions? Oh, you just gotta go. Okay.
This is where America entered war. From there were many major events and battles that need to be mentioned. So I have laid out the timeline of the war. In 1939, on September 1st, Germany invades Poland. World War II begins. In 1939, on September 3rd, France and Great Britain declare war on Germany. 1940, April 9th to June 9th, Germany invades and takes control of Denmark and Norway. They wanted to take as much of Europe as possible to take control over shipping routes and information via telegram. May 10th to June 22nd, Germany uses quick strikes called blitzkriegs, meaning lightning war, to take over much of Eastern Europe, including Netherlands and Belgium, and northern France. Again, to create harder ways for information and resources to travel. In 1940, on May 30th, Winston Churchill becomes leader of the British government. In 1940, June 10th, Italy enters the war as a member of the Axis powers. Throughout most of the war, Germany was attempting to achieve genocide of many people. He created concentration camps that enslaved many people, including American troops that captured, if they were captured, and they weren't killed on the spot. All this happened during the war, and to continue my timeline. In 1940, July 10th, Germany launches an airstrike on Great Britain. These attacks last until the end of October, known as the Battle of Great Britain. Battle of Britain. In 1941, December 7th, the Japanese attacked the U.S. Pearl Harbor. That's where America enters the war. And then June 4th, 1942, the U.S. defeats the Japanese naval battle of Midway. In 1944, June 6th, D-Day and Normandy invasion. Allied forces invaded France to push back the Germans. And December 16th, 1944, the Germans launch a large attack in the Battle of the Bulge. They lose to the Allies, sealing the fate of German army. In 1945, February 19th, 1945, U.S. Marines invade the island of Iwo Jima. For May 7th, 1945, Germany surrenders to the Allies. August 6th, 1945, the United States drops the atomic bomb on Hiroshima 3 days later, in August 9th, 1945, they drop another atomic bomb on Nagasaki. In 1945, Japan surrenders to the U.S., which basically sealed the war for everybody. And again, we can't forget about the genocide Hitler was trying to achieve by ridding all of the Jews, and not only genocide, he attempted to aim to rid his country of blacks, gays, and disabled people. So you're asking the outcome of the war. The outcome of the war, watch many people become great power, fail Hitler. The end of the war began a new era. It was defined by the decline of the old great powers, the Axis and the Allied, and the rise of two superpowers, the Soviet Union and the United States of America, creating a bipolar world. Allied during World War II, the U.S. and USSR became rivals and engaged in what we now known as the Cold War. And even though America wasn't initially involved, they came to be and were involved during this. And the war lasted about 6 years, killing about 50 million people, including civilians, soldiers. And after the war didn't exactly end, it began the Cold War.